I'm a slave to my system. I'm very high maintenance Casey these days. I got lots of pills, lots of pills. Some are just supplements to get me by for the Herxheimer reactions, as I was diagnosed correctly, finally. Not by the help of any doctors, I'll tell you that much. Thank you to my husband, number one. He's at work now. He's, they're 24-hour shifts. And my kids are finally both in school. What up? 2 and 5. My, how time flies. So I'm here still. I'm locked into treatment a la Lyme and Bortonella and 2 other things I can't even remember. It makes sense, right? My body didn't turn on me. In fact, yes, I did have cancer. Okay. But I don't think I really have AS. I think I am a victim of the system. Coach Casey, I never heard of any of this. And it's mind-blowing. And I think this is why I'm put in this position, is because if you can't believe me, and there needs to be a change. I'm not just going to come out here and tell my story. There's something's going to happen here, because people don't want you to know about it. We treat our animals and mammals like galore with like tick-borne prevention stuff, and yet we walk around like it doesn't exist. But people in the Northeast know about it, right? Well, you think vector-borne illnesses like follow geography borderlines like created on a map? No, it's everywhere. This stuff was out since the 50s or something. I don't freaking know, but like my husband knows all this stuff. I can't even like learn too much about it because I'm still like harboring some feelings, but I am getting better. Finally on the right treatment. I'm going on month 3. So what happened was, listen, I still have issues. I still technically have AS. I work very hard. I know a lot of things that can help people that I would like to get to. This is noons. You gotta stay hydrated. Number 1, always. No drinking. I'm on some serious medicines. Like, this is just part of lunch. And then I have to take rifampin twice a day, 600 milligrams, and then azithromycin twice a day, so 1,000 milligrams of that. And then, I also started having muscle spasms and twitches, and I got cardiac problems. I became a mess, and I thought it was because I chose to go off Cimzia. I don't know if this immunosuppressant biologic stuff is meant for our good or harm, because I was desperate for a cure. So I did it. I eventually went on these immunosuppressants against my own thought process. You know what? I'm gonna put on, because I guess I'm doing this, right? Like I'm telling you guys. I didn't want to do it, but I was desperate for better quality of life. I was on a podium, like I could will myself to a podium, but like on a daily basis, I was struggling. And so that's where, AS is a serious diagnosis, and I don't know that I don't have it, but it turns out Lyme disease is the great mimicker. It can go anywhere and everywhere. It's a spiral-like parasite that can go in every single cell. And this was never presented to me until somebody in my husband's fire department said, hey, you ever done this? And it's like, my doctors would never think of it, even though nobody connected the dots at all. I do this to like take pressure off my spine sometimes, so deal with it. Anyways, well, I'm gonna tangent a lot because I was also a Spartan coach, so it makes sense for me. But to get tested was a struggle, to even get tested. And then my rheumatologist, I told him, I was like, these drugs don't work. I gave them 6 weeks to get out of my system before I really started getting kind of like worried about these symptoms I was having, because it was clear it wasn't just my bones now. It was, my muscles, my neurological system, my cardiac system. And like clearly it's been in my brain, because I'm finally a little clearer. I feel like I'm slowly like rewinding backwards, because I haven't had cardiac issues since July. Like I thought I was dying, and I didn't want to tell my family, but there was no way I was going to live to see 40 at the rate my body was like just failing me. And I know a lot, and I was able to survive these months based on my knowledge. Everybody else, I don't know how you could possibly do it. And then even at the end, like if I was alone, I probably would have killed myself, especially I'm here because my kids and my husband and, you know, my father who made sure that he's the only other person who's come to like make sure that our family holds together. Cause you know, my husband's gone and I have 2 little babies. And number one, I take care of them and I take care of our house and my husband, and like, it's hard to be that person, especially when you're a mother. And this has been the first 2 years of my daughter's life after I lost my business, after the pandemic. So it's mental here. And I honestly gave up because so many doctors didn't know anything. And this is a crime that I showed that I don't have Lyme disease according to mainstream America, because it's so controversial to talk about. But why? Why aren't doctors educated about this? Like, I went to an immunologist. I don't meet CDC criteria from Quest, but then I took 3 more like internationally known things, and I tested across the board for 4 different types of tick-borne or vector-borne illness. And then, so here's the other thing, like, yes, it makes sense for me. I was always in the woods, especially coaching other coaches for Spartan. But Spartan, I had to tell them, because not only I feel they have a responsibility based on asking everybody to go into the woods, taking all their stuff from the woods and bringing it, like, are we that silly? That like, my doctors were like, oh, do you have a reason to think you were in the Northeast? It's like, do they stay in the Northeast? Like, are we that silly? So there's ticks everywhere, guys. Surprise. I pulled one off my dog before. Luigi's pulled one off himself at like a Florida rest stop. So, and here's the thing is like, how would you know? Like, as an OCR racer, I'm used to getting beat up. I was coaching the day before in the woods and, you know, doing the obstacles and teaching people. And then I would go race it the next day. So who's to say a little pepper flake, like it's the size of a black pepper even, like we don't know anything. And when you Google this stuff, it makes me so mad because it's just BS. Like, I am considered undiagnosed, late stage chronic Lyme plus, something crazy. Lyme plus, because I have more than just Lyme. So why wasn't anybody educated this? Especially me, who like studied health and fitness and everything. I mean, doctors though, and then I even told a friend, I haven't told many people, but I told a friend, and she had somebody who came from the Northeast to Orlando to visit, you know, Disney World. Their daughter got sick, and then the mom was like, you know, I think she had it, maybe we could test her for tick. And they were like, oh, we don't do that. So she had to watch her daughter get a spinal tap and all these other things because we don't even know how to help people. So I was on my way to honestly probably dying because the way I could feel it moving through myself. I think I got on the right treatment just in time, which is going to be, I'm told, a year of antibiotics. But I'm Coach Casey, and I'm coming back, and I'm gonna make right by this. And this is number one. This is starting. So taking all this medicine is another form of hell on earth. I'm kind of stuck inside now because, you know, now as these spiral-like parasites are driven out of my body, like cork, like whatever, I might have symptoms and reactions in other ways. I mean, I'm on heavy medicine, so I take all these things. Thanks to my doctor from iLads, look into that, because a lot of doctors don't know. They think it's controversial, and I think it's because they want to keep us sick. I think it's the business of being sick is way too big. So do your own investigation. Please have somebody in your corner, because I was unexplainably sick. And here's where we get a little, I get really angry, because think about kids. Oh, this autoimmune disease pandemic, and kids, rheumatoid arthritis. Like, I don't think me and my husband have discovered quite the wormhole of disparities in the acknowledgement of this disease, let alone all the other things that apparently I have. So I am living proof that these things exist. I pray that nobody else gets this, but if you are inexplicably sick and you don't know why, and they don't know why, I was gonna get MS, freaking fibromyalgia was thrown out there, lupus, like, I mean, these go on to be serious things. And then you get diagnosed with that, but why can't we get tested? Paying all this money, thousands of dollars. Oh, and meanwhile, I can't work, right? I can barely like take care of myself. That I I don't know. Somebody dropped the ball here. And Spartan, I'm asking you, call to action, OCR racers, please join me in this. Something needs to happen here. Like, something. I'll be the martyr for you guys, because this should not happen to anybody, let alone a kid, maybe? Kids out there? We need to, I'm gonna take this as far as I can. In the meantime of me getting treatment, I just kind of want to put this out there so people can share the story and understand that I am not even started yet in where this is gonna go. I'm coming to help you guys, for real. But in the meantime, like I said, I'm just trying to get by. So if you're gonna play in the woods, I'm not saying don't do it. Like, I'm just saying there needs to be a system, make people aware to even check for these things. Spartans, like, you know, I didn't wash my hair the day before race. Maybe I should have, because I was playing in the woods. Like, there's no way to explain at this point, because it's not just in ticks. It's not just ticks going from person to person or mammal to mammal. It can be on anything. It's vector-borne illness. So, Spartan, please help me. I've been a coach for you for 10 years. I was sent into the woods unknowingly about this. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying I'm asking for somebody to step up and do something about it and, like, help me chip away at this incredible issue and problem. This is a long video, so I'm gonna get to my treatment and pray for everyone. Thank you guys for your prayers. I really do I feel it. I'm on my way, and I'm gonna be back.